Good morning, students. Today I'm going to explain the topic of chapter 6, life process. The nutrition in human being is the topic. To understand the nutrition in human being, first we have to understand our digestive system. The digestive system in human being consists of two parts. One is alimentary canal and the other one is digestive glands. Alimentary canal start from mouth and end still anus. I will show you the diagram of digestive system in human being. I have just drawn it. Uh, this is digestive system diagram. Our alimentary canal start from mouth, which includes mouth cavity, teeth, tongue, etc. And then it goes to esophagus pipe, then a stomach, then a small intestine, large intestine, and then last anus. So this is our this is our digestive system. As I said, the digestive system consists of alimentary canal and digestive glands. Alimentary canal start from mouth to esophagus pipe, then stomach, then small intestine. Small intestine consists of three parts: duodenum, jejunum, and ileum. Then it goes to large intestine. Intestine also consists of three parts: cecum, colon, and rectum. Now I will explain each term and what are the function of each organ of the digestive system, what are the digestive glands, and what digestive enzymes they produce, they secretes, and what are the function of these digestive glands. Digestive glands, mainly the examples of digestive glands are salivary glands, pancreas, liver, gastric gland, intestinal glands, etc. And these glands secretes various types of enzymes which are known as digestive enzymes. These enzymes help to digest the food. So first I start from mouth. We know for nutrition we need food. We take outside material like food and water for digestion, for getting energy, etc. So first thing, the food gets into my mouth, or in human being's mouth. The inside the mouth buccal cavity is there. At the surface of the buccal cavity we know our tongue is there, and at the top side of the buccal cavity our palate is there. There are three pairs of salivary gland which secretes salivary amylase juice, which helps to digest the food. I'll explain it later. So inside the mouth buccal cavity is there, salivary glands are there, tongue is there. Tongue is a muscular part which helps in mixing up the food, in mixing the salivary juices into the food, and then pushing it forward, rolling up the food, etc. Then there is teeth. As you know, we use the teeth to break the food, to chew the food. Teeth, there are different types of teeth in our mouth. All of you know there are 32 teeth in one set. 3 molar, 2 premolar, 1 canine, and then 2 incisors. Total 8, and 8 into 4, total 32 teeth are there in an adult mouth. Till 12 years of age, children are having their milk teeth, which contains around 20 teeth, and after that they get permanent teeth. Now, so these are the functions of teeth. They break the food, they chew the food, and they make the food into smaller pieces so that it can pass through our esophagus pipe. From mouth it goes to pharynx. Pharynx is the common passage for food and air. uh, when we breathe, or when we take food or water, for everything goes to pharynx. After pharynx, these items get separated. Food goes into esophagus pipe, or it is known as food pipe, and air goes into windpipe. But till pharynx, food and water both goes here, and from there it separates. After pharynx, the food goes to esophagus pipe. You can see the diagram. Look at here. This is the mouth where tongue and teeth are there, which help in making the food smaller or mixing the food with the saliva, etc. From here it goes to up to pharynx. After pharynx, the food and water goes to esophagus pipe, and air gets separated, it goes to windpipe. From esophagus pipe, the food goes to stomach. So what does esophagus pipe do? Esophagus is a long tubular structure to carry food from pharynx to stomach. How it carries it? To pass the food forward, there is continuous peristaltic movement inside the esophagus. So what is this peristaltic movement? Peristaltic movement means contraction and relaxation. Contraction and relaxation. The whole food pipe contracts and relax rhythmically. What happens? Suppose, just see this diagram I have drawn. When the food enters into this pipe, this part contracts and the tube becomes narrower. The food is here, so it relaxes and food comes here. Again, this part will relax, this part will contract, it will become, it will shrink, and this part will broaden up. In this way, this food comes down. Actually, not only in esophagus, in the whole alimentary canal, this peristaltic movement continues to push the food in forward direction. Now, I said there are 3 pairs of salivary gland in our mouth. So, what does it do? Salivary glands secrete salivary juices or salivary enzymes, which is known as salivary amylase. This salivary amylase convert the starch present in the food into simple sugar. Basically, जो फूड हम खाते हैं उसमें जो स्टार्च है उसको ये सिंपल शुगर या ग्लूकोज में कन्वर्ट करता है. कौन करता है? सलाइवरी अमाइलेज. कहाँ है ये? दिस आर सेक्रेटेड बाय सलाइवरी ग्लैंड्स. सलाइवरी ग्लैंड्स आर फाउंड इन द माउथ. So this is our first gland, digestive gland, which contains salivary amylase, and it converts food into starch into sugar or glucose. Then after the esophagus pipe, the food goes into stomach. Stomach is actually a large muscular organ. It consists of many gastric glands which secretes gastric juices. Stomach contains, once again I repeat, stomach contains gastric glands which secretes gastric juices. These juices, what are these juices? These juices includes HCl, that is hydrochloric acid, pepsin, and mucus. What are the function of these juices? First thing, HCl, as you know, HCl is acid, hydrochloric acid. It makes the medium acidic for digestion of food. Actually, what we can say, it facilitate the digestion, it accelerate the digestion because of acid. This HCl acid makes the medium acidic for the digestion. It also kills the harmful bacteria which also enters along with the food into our stomach. खाने के साथ हमें पता है कि हम खाना बहुत साफ़ सुथरा से बनाते हैं, धोकर और क्लीन करके हाइजीन मेंटेन करते हैं, बट there are some microorganism, bacteria and virus which enters along with the food into our stomach. So to kill those harmful bacteria, HCl is sufficient. So this HCl kills the bacteria. Then there is another enzyme which is pepsin. Pepsin converts the proteins present in the food into amino acid. Another thing, another juice which is secreted by gastric gland is mucus. Mucus protects the inner lining of the stomach because there is HCl. So HCl can harm the inner lining of the stomach. तो उसको प्रोटेक्ट करने के लिए क्या है? वहाँ पे म्यूकस है. Mucus is the enzyme which is secreted by gastric gland and it protects the inner lining of the stomach. So these are the function of gastric juices. Then after the stomach, the food goes to small intestine. स्मॉल इंटेस्टाइन में मोस्टली कंप्लीट डाइजेशन हो जाता है, थोड़ा बहुत बाकी रहता है जो लार्ज इंटेस्टाइन में होता है. तो व्हेन द फूड एंटर्स इनटू स्मॉल इंटेस्टाइन, Other digestive gland like liver, pancreas, etc., they secrete enzymes into the small intestine for the digestion. Liver. Liver secretes bile juice and bile salt. Bile juice makes the food alkaline. We know स्टमक में जो HCl सेक्रेट हुआ था वो फूड को एसिडिक बना दिया था. तो स्टमक से जो स्मॉल इंटेस्टाइन में फूड आया दैट इज एसिडिक, बट for different for other enzymes to act on the food should be alkaline. तो फूड को अल्कलाइन कौन बना रहा है? बाइल जूस. एंड बाइल जूस इज secreted by liver. Along with the bile juice, liver also secretes bile salt. This bile salt does emulsification. What does it mean? Emulsification means it converts the big globule of fat molecules into small globules. Big globules of big globules of fat molecules are getting converted into small molecules by the process of emulsification, and this is done with the help of bile salt. So once again I repeat, liver secretes bile juice and bile salt. बाइल जूस का क्या काम है? वो फूड को अल्कलाइन बनाता है. जब फूड अल्कलाइन होगा तभी उस पर दूसरे एंजाइम्स की हेल्प से डाइजेशन होगा उसका. और बाइल सॉल्ट का क्या काम है? वो फैट के बिग ग्लोब्यूल्स जो हैं उसको स्मॉल ग्लोब्यूल्स में कन्वर्ट करता है. एंड दिस प्रोसेस इज नोन एज एमल्सिफिकेशन. Then there is a gallbladder. This gallbladder stores the excess bile juice and bile salt. जो bile juice and bile salt liver से secrete हो रहा है वो कहाँ पे store हो रहा है? It is getting stored in I was explaining that when the food comes in the small intestine, this is the small intestine, the complete digestion takes place. After the digestion, this food has to be reached in each and every cell of the human body. So there are numerous finger-like projections in the inner wall of the small intestine. It absorbs the food. Actually, this finger line projection actually increases the surface area. So maximum food will be in the contact, and it will absorb the food. Many blood vessels are connected with this bilis, so these foods are absorbed and goes to the blood vessels. Then the blood vessels take the digested food along with the blood to each and every part of the body. Mostly the food gets digested in the small intestine, but not 100%. Some undigested food comes to large intestine, where the it gets again absorbed by the villi. There are also villi in the large intestine, and the remaining water and food which are the foods which did not get digested, got absorbed in the small intestine, these foods are getting absorbed in the large intestine, food and water also. And then at last the undigested waste materials are removed from the body through the anus. This is the anus part from where the undigested waste material are removed. I explain these diagrams one again. This is mouth, buccal cavity, this is pharynx, this is esophagus pipe, this is diaphragm, which I will explain in the next video in respiratory system. This is stomach, this is liver, this part is liver, and this is gallbladder, which stores the bile juice and bile salt. Liver produces this. And this is pancreas. This pancreas releases the pancreatic juice, which helps in the digestion of the food. And this is small intestine, and this is large intestine. So I have explained this. Now I want to explain you the question answers which are given as blue box. So you all can open up your book and see the blue box question. On page number 95, blue box question, I will explain blue box question, page number 95, and then page number 101. These two blue box question I'm going to explain. Please understand the answer, and if you have any doubt, I will explain this in the live class when I will be taking your classes. First thing, first question of page number 95 blue box question is, why is diffusion insufficient to meet the oxygen requirements of multicellular organisms like humans? दैट मीन्स कि जो ऑक्सीजन रिक्वायरमेंट है मल्टी सेलुलर ऑर्गेनिज्म लाइक ह्यूमन बींग्स और एनिमल्स, उसमें डिफ्यूजन क्यों नहीं सफिशेंट है? दो इट इज़ सफिशेंट इन यूनिसेलुलर ऑर्गेनिज्म, बट वी नो इन a single cell organism or unicellular organism, the entire surface of the organism will be in contact with the environment, so the entire surface can take the oxygen and the whole body can get the oxygen. But in multicellular organism, all the cells may not be in direct contact with the surroundings or surrounding environment, like our stomach is inside the body, our respiratory organs are inside, situated inside the body, so it is not in direct contact with the environment, so it cannot take the oxygen by the diffusion process. Next question is, what criteria do we use to decide whether something is alive or not? See, this question I have already discussed in my first video. There are many points based on that we can decide whether it is living or non-living, because living organism perform growth, they perform reproduction, they pass their genes to their offspring. There are many. I was explaining the answers of question, blue box question given on page number 101. So first question is, what are the difference between autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition? Autotrophic nutrition is the nutrition in which living organism gets their food by the synthesizing. That means they do not depend upon others, they make their own food by themselves, they synthesize their own food. They take raw materials from outside, from the surrounding, and in the presence of sunlight they synthesize their food by the process of photosynthesis. But in heterotrophic nutrition, the living organism depends upon others to get their food. They do not synthesize, they do not make their own food. Question number 2, where do plants get each of raw materials required for photosynthesis? As I said, in autotrophic nutrition, plants make their own food by the photosynthesis. So the plants get the raw materials, water and carbon dioxide from the surrounding for the process of photosynthesis. They take water from the ground, underground through the roots, and carbon dioxide they take by the surrounding environment. Question number 3, what is the role of the acid in our stomach? Yes, I know all of you know, I just explained this topic, that stomach has gastric gland which secretes HCl, hydrochloric acid. These acids has mainly two functions. First, it makes the medium acidic, which facilitate the digestion process, and second, it kills the harmful bacteria. Question number 4, what is the function of digestive enzyme? So the digestive enzymes digest the food which we take from outside, and digestive enzymes digest the food. There are various digestive enzymes, and then digested food is taken to the each and every part of the body. What is the small intestine designed to absorb digested food? As I had explained, the small intestine contains numerous number of villi. These villi are finger-like projection, which increases the surface area. So these villi absorbs the digested food because the surface area is more, so it can absorb more food. So basically, small intestine has large number of villi, which has large surface area, and so it absorbs the food. Thank you. In the next video, I will explain the respiratory system.